Good morning. My name is Moses Ssebunya, and I'm going to be talking about work-life balance. How we do things. We eat. This is my work-life balance schedule. I eat, and then I work, and then I sleep. And the process continues. It is like metamorphosis. I eat, I work, I sleep. When I get stuck somewhere, I just think of what I was doing previously. So when I get stuck at work, oh, I remember I have to sleep. Then I sleep. Then when I wake up, I eat. Alright. I want us to do one thing. Greetings from my wife. She's with my best man's wife who delivered. She delivered a bouncing baby girl. So I want us to take 1 minute to pray for the women in labor. Lord, we commit to you women that are expecting, and to those who are in labor right now, that your hand will uplift them and support them. Amen. Yes, over years, very many women die during childbirth. Some do not even carry to term. So it is very important. Otherwise, my wife sends her regards. She loves you. She wanted to be here, but duty calls. So today we are going to talk about the work-life balance. As developers, people have always been complaining about us. Because a man has a 6-bedroom house, but has not visited any of them. This I said from experience. He sits in the sitting room or the living room. Oh, that's why they call it the living room. Because you live there. Like this guy sits there on his monitor and he clicks, moves his hand back like this, gets some snack. He munches quickly, clicks, and then he gets tired, he falls back and sleeps, and then when he wakes up, he repeats. And then, all of a sudden, we get those problems. We get diseases, some are even terminal. We've had people dying of cancer, because that is the life they have. And this guy has a bed, and those guys buy expensive beds. Why do developers have expensive things? You know that a monitor costs 1M and it's only 24 inches? And people are buying to make work easy. But then in the end, sometimes these people don't use these things because they fail to find the balance. And what do we mean when we talk about the work-life balance? It is just a concept of properly prioritizing your work, your personal life, your pleasure, your leisure, family, and spiritual development. We find that some people are very good at what they are doing in code, but their families are in shambles. And then others, their spiritual life is in shambles. We need to find a balance. How do you do all these things? And it is just a simple thing. Sometimes it helps us in addressing all the areas of our lives. These areas are supposed to coexist peacefully. You're not supposed to be struggling to talk to God. He is your creator, right? It's supposed to be a peaceful transition. That when I am done with my professional job, or where you're employed, your formal job, then maybe I have a few hours on my hand for freelancing. But this time not the freelancing, but maybe like volunteer work. You know that some people do work for free. Any of us work with NGOs and you're volunteering. Ngateto Saba Transport. Yes, this is how I joined volunteering. I went for a camp like this, and then they were saying we need people to volunteer. But then the privileges that were coming with volunteering, I didn't want a formal job. They pick you from work, from home, they take you to work, they bring you back. Then they give you a transport refund. I don't know why they were refunding the transport I didn't use, but they will give you a transport refund. Then they give you food, meals, breakfast, lunch, and for us programmers don't eat a lot. as long as you have a kitchen with a working percolator. It's coffee throughout, right? And the moment you say, kitchen with a cup of coffee. Personally, I do Coke, because by the time the tea cools and then Coke and ice cubes, I can work for 5 days straight, no sleep. And now this is where the problem comes. And then they say, you see, that guy got a stroke. The brain did not rest enough. Sometimes you're getting fevers. And now we need to start curbing some of these things. We need to know the difference between our work, the business. These are jobs that earn us money. Oftentimes men are saying, no, we are going to work. It means that you're going to collect money. That is what we call work. That is the business. This is something I am doing because I'm going to be paid. Then I also need to understand what it is to volunteer. This is something you're doing for free. Yes, sometimes they give you a refund, sometimes they give you an allowance, sometimes they give you transport or anything. Sometimes they even give you upkeep. But you need to know that this one, I'm volunteering, I'm giving back to the community. Some of this information you have, you need to give it out. Just imagine if Sharon didn't teach us how to start freelancing. Have you thought of it? Arthur is one of the people that pioneered WordPress here. Like they boosted the thing and now he's leading. Just imagine if he said, may I not lead WordPress and tell it. You need to know that yes, it's a free thing, but I am giving my all. And you need to allocate time for it. Sometimes people will even call you, I need you to help me design a logo, but then you've not planned. And then you end up stopping something that would earn you money to do something that is not earning you anything. And then after the person starts telling you, Kakati wali water blue take already. And then as you're struggling with that, meanwhile your work is at standstill. And then they say, now that red is not what I want. Make it like maroon. And they say, you know what? I think blue was better. But if this is something you know that this is free work, I'm doing it in my free time, I have allocated these few minutes or these hours. And then you prepare. You tell him, okay, I'm going to start working on you at 11. If they're comfortable, people should fall in your schedule. Don't get out of your schedule to fix something. Because, like I said, it's a life cycle. It's a metamorphosis. If anything, just imagine if the egg is turning to lava, and then it remembers there were other eggs, and then it goes back to egg format. You've ever thought of that? This is something that is supposed to be continuous. I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. Yes, there are emergency cases. But then emergency cases are not there every time, right? It is an emergency, it is a one-off. Maybe that once in a while you can break a schedule. Is that okay? Then you need to know what time you allocate to your life, your personal life. Some people here do not have time for themselves. And I think this is one of the things I learned from Mr. Duma. Mr. Duma is my mentor. You need to know, Moses is no someone in the waka. And then sometimes he will call and say, Moses, there is this thing, I know we have this, but there is this emergency. It has to be an emergency, not something that is always on your schedule. Breaking patterns. You need to have time for your life. I am now a married man. I have time for myself. I now need to have time for my wife. And now just imagine when the children come. I need to have time for my children. We just keep editing. Say, now you had 7 hours for yourself. No. Now 2 hours for yourself, 5 hours for you and your wife. Now we will have a time, say now 1 hour for you and the firstborn. But you get the whole point. Is you need to have time for yourself, your life. You need to understand the business model. How many people know how to ride bicycles? I think the lockdown has taught people a lot of things. And how many people know how to ride the motorcycle? And how many people know how to ride or to drive a car. So these are three separate business models, and the most important part here is you need to know your business model. Yesterday we had someone who was here and talked about how he designs logos for 3 million. Do you remember? It's 5 million. 5 million. One logo like this. You need to know that on this scale, where is my business? Are we together? You need to understand, if I am to look for clients, which kind of clients am I looking for? And the business model will explain this for you clearly and put it out clearly for you to understand. If your business model is this, usually these are what we call small startups. Not startups, small startups. You're just learning to code or something. Maybe you know how to take photos, but you don't know how to even polish the photos. For you, you know camera, they press here. You need to know what level am I? And that helps you greatly on looking for your client. You need to know the size of your business. This is very important. When you're taking on jobs, you don't just announce, I am building websites, Bank of Uganda. You need to know, if Bank of Uganda tells you we have a database of 55 terabytes, you need to analyze it. Do you even have a laptop that can hold that data? You need to know, what is the size of my business? Your business is in a small primo, and you want to carry trucks of sand. So, you've had people, just come to take a mom after. And then the car comes back, you look at that, sits, and you get a today, am I in charge? You need to know the size of your business. It helps you a lot, even when you're allocating time. Big businesses will require a lot of time. You know that we have people here who go to work once a day. And we also have people who work 6 days. And we have those who work full time. On Sunday, he's in church. And then you see them excusing themselves. And then the laptop is in the car. He doesn't even need church. In the church compound. The size of business. Sometimes it is time for your business to grow. Sometimes you are holding down the business. You have been a web developer for 20 years. And you're still using a 4th generation laptop. And then they call you to present, and then you come. Temuna VGA. But then here Anna was introducing to you. He has been developing websites for over 20 years. He has built for big brands. After Cassidy, and then he comes with a tablet. Slides and is it a computer? Out there when we are going to look for clients. Because they'll tell you that Trillion Look Store needs a website. I can pull it off. Then you go to talk to the managers. Yes, I can build your website. And they say, let us see some of the websites you've developed. We've had it developed for a long time. Okay, you have internet on your phone? So you type in. I've forgotten the domain. You search. Like, you need this. You need to know what is my business size. It helps you a lot, and you know that now that brand is up top. Maybe this one is my level. I can approach. Sometimes now, like a friend was saying, that there are those clients who will tell you, "May I have the money? How much do you want?" And now you need to know. Sometimes all that is required by those people is simple research. Just imagine if the boss of Mkopa approached you. Is it very hard? All he wants is a business. He wants you to go, you know Mkopa. By the time you have come to me, you must know. Because they told you have a meeting with Mkopa boss, he wants a website. the first thing you do is to research. What is MCOP? What services do they have? So now when you come to approach this guy, you don't just say, so what is your business name? What do you do? Some of these basic questions are embarrassing. So like Sharon said, you already have a 10-step. You just keep crossing off what you already know. And then you just ask him, so MCOPA, I have seen Delight. What makes you different? And say, hey, this guy will know that you know what you're dealing with. Because you even know his competitors. Hey, this guy is serious. So he said, now you see, for us, we do this and this. Sometimes you're going to go, we've been on interview panels, and then you ask the person you're interviewing, so what are you going to add to the company? Now me, you see here, I am very hardworking. We know you're hardworking. What are you going to add to the company? And now, okay, I'll come early. Of course you're supposed to come early. We are paying you to come early. What are you going to add? And you don't know because you're not prepared. And now the size of your business tells you how to prepare. Some of you are going to go to interview panels, and when they see you, the interviewer looks at you and says, okay, when can you start? Because either they've heard about you, or they've researched about you, they know what you're capable of. And they're afraid they might ask you questions, and you say, no, I think I'll not handle, and then you go away. And yet they need you. You just say and say, Moses Casa, I have no questions for this one. And say, I don't have. And say, okay, when can you start working? What is your support model? Anytime you get a challenge, this is mostly to the developers. What is your support model? When you get a challenge with the website, where do you go to? Do you go to the forums? We have very many forums for WordPress. We have the WordPress, we have the WhatsApp, we have several groups, we have the website. You know, you can just go to the WordPress.org and type your problem, and the forum people will answer. And every time you type a WhatsApp, a WordPress problem, the first links are going to be to a WordPress forum. Before the private blogs come in to solve your problem, there is going to be a WordPress forum. And that is one of the reasons why we are selling WordPress. Because you don't die alone. You need to know this. Students, when that number is hard for you, where do you go? You run to the teacher, you run to your colleague in class. How do you handle that? That is very important. And now for students, for you unfortunately, you don't have a business side. For you, you only have a business model. Which school do you go to? Hey, some of us went to schools that we never mentioned. But you need to know that I went to this school. You understand? And when you're reading, when you're setting your schedule to read, you need to know that now since I go to this school, I need to read so that I can study my results with C. Does it make sense? You need to know, before I get there, where am I coming from? You need to know what are my strengths and weaknesses. You don't just go reading. Wow. We had a colleague in class who only read math simply because he was good at it. And now you tell him, hey, wait. But then these are developers you find, they are very good with coding a certain thing. You want buttons on your website, call to action. Those are easy. You call Moses. But the moment you tell him, Moses, now my call to action is not working, it is bringing this error. Because now he wants to share to other people to help him. You need to know your support model. Another place where we find support is the chat rooms. Places where we are a lot. We have the Itaú groups. They are not the official support forums. But because it is where we spend most of our time, we usually spend most of our time with people with whom we have the same mission. Or we are doing similar things. I really don't expect a DJ. A DJ. You're playing music. I don't expect you in builders groups. Okay, now that's it. Because when you look at the Gudumara and now for you you're looking for a certain plugin for Newmark. Does it make sense? You need to surround yourself with these people that can support you. That's why we have these chat rooms. You go to a chat room and you find something that will help you. Sometime someone posted in the WhatsApp group, it was none of my business, but because it is a group where I'm subscribed, I keep scrolling and then I find something that I was about to ask for help for. Someone had already asked and someone was answering. There was a time when WordPress sites were so much under attack. And then people were like, hey, my site is down, now I want to ask something that I even fear. And then I find someone already asked that question. And then sometimes the people we sit with, our colleagues at work, our colleagues at school, they know these things. And you don't fear those people, right? Because they're people you spend life with. You just walk to him and say, hey, I want to do this. Because he's your colleague, you don't fear him. Sometimes you might fear to approach some of these people. But the more you come, just keep associating with them. Do not fear us. We are human. We are human. So when you see someone around here, it's because they have chosen to associate with you. Do not die with your problem. The site has a problem, give me a call. Call Arthur, call Steve, call Julius, call someone, call John. And tell them, hey, this is not working. I found this problem. Yes, sometimes it will cost some money. You know, money is becoming important. Sometimes it's going to cost some money. Yes, you're not going to have your hosting subscription expired and think someone's going to say, hey, Bambi, your subscription expired. You use mine. Of course, they're just going to tell you, oh, subscription expired, but these are alternatives. Are we together? Okay, what is your growth strategy? For you to be someone that is important in your work, in your life, and in everything you do, you need to have an upskilling option. Sharon here was sharing that this was my first WordCamp. It was my first time to see WordPress. Someone even installed it for me. Currently, she has over, how many sites, Sharon? Over 5? And she even has more that are in the back end. Even more that are yet to be hosted. They are still liaising with the clients. So is it clear? Should I upload? Should I go live? Because there was a growth strategy. You planned that I am not going to be installing WordPress forever. I don't think you people have come to learn how to install WordPress and that's the end of the story. That is why we have tracks. And now, after this session, we are going to have a beginner's track here. We are going to have the expert's track. We expect you at some time to no longer attend the beginner's track. We're going to use. We're going to have a game. You need to upskill. And here is just a simple quiz. Some of the things that could help you notice when you're losing the skills. What are some of those things that take most of your time? As simple as that. What are some of those things that take most of your time? Are they planned? Or you just find yourself just in a you know, sometimes you find people and they will just tell you, I just find myself taken up. And then on a scale of 1 to 5, or 1 to 10, how much time does it take? a lot, a little time. Then you also need to notice, how important is it? You know, sometimes it's even not important. But then it just takes up your time because you're available. I remember when I was stressed and I just decided, Netflix and chill. So you wake up one day and eat and watch. Eat and watch. And then when they ask you, so what have you achieved this week? Man, just in this stress. Yes, we could work. But what have you achieved? You need to have goals that you know, yes, life is hard, but I have at least achieved this. Personally, when I was preparing for this is when I realized that also my skills were not balancing. And then I was like, I need to adjust here, I need to adjust here, I need to adjust here. Because sometimes, because it is our routine, it looks like it is the best thing to do and everything is fine. And they ask you, how many hours do you spend on computer? Like 18 a day. Why? So you wake up at 6 and sleep around midnight? More like that. And what do you achieve? Now you see. You get the whole point. You need to find the balance. You can choose to utilize the time. There is a lot we can do with that time. I can say I'm going to work from 8 to 11, rest from 11 to midday. Maybe I can watch a movie, maybe music, anything that makes you relax. Go for lunch. Then you can choose that when I come back from lunch, I'm a little messed up from the food. And you know that discomfort of being satisfied. Choose to contribute to WordPress. How many contributors do we have in the house? Polyglots. Polyglots stand for translation. Then we have meetup organizers, WordCamp leaders. Contribute to WordPress. Anyone can do anything. You can start with a simple language. We are translating WordPress, and there's a lot to translate. You can just choose, let me translate. You can just choose to help with the editing of the videos. Just go to make.wordpress.com. There are very many options to contribute to WordPress. Very many. Some of you are coming from areas where it is hard for someone to leave to come for a meetup in Kampala, in Entebbe, or Jinja, or Masaka. You can choose that I'm going to be a meetup organizer and leader in Gulu, in Bundibujo, wherever you choose. And then collect people doing WordPress, help each other. And then from there, you're contributing to WordPress. You know, we grow by adding more. That is how some of these companies, I usually fear talking about companies in front of cameras. It gets so scary. So, but you know how they are operating. They tell you, no, you come, you pay this little amount, then you bring another person, and that's why when you bring, when they buy, or when you divide, there is a way they sell. And these people know exactly what they're doing. And then your friend just said, and say, no, you know, I'm busy. I say, no, it won't take long, you know, it's just a meeting. I say, okay. And then when you reach there, so now there's this product, it can help your spinal cord. And by the way, at the end of that talk, you need that product. I don't know, you can agree to disagree. At the end of the talk, you need the product. Isn't it? As simple as that. So, you need people that you're working together with. Julia? I don't know if I still have more time or I'm done. Thank you. Okay. So, you need to find ways of contributing to WordPress. We have very many teachers in the house. There is a section for creating educational content for WordPress. For you, your duty could be to be behind that screen and make content for people who are going to teach WordPress. You just need to find one of these ways and contribute. There are people who cannot use WordPress because it is in English. And you could be their solution. We are already translating Uganda, you could join us. But then there are other languages as well. You could even choose to be the lead for your language. And say, hey, no one is translating Samia, me I'll translate it. And then you start. And then before you know it, you're the lead editor for Samia translation. And you're helping someone. Any questions? Usually sessions like this, I don't expect questions. All right, thank you so much for listening. God bless you.